each day a chance to start anew. Thank you for the color blue. Thank you for the color green. Color of the early spring. A new rebirth for everything. Thank you for the color green. It's beautiful what I see. All the colors shining down on you and me. Thank you for the color pink. Softer than an angel wing. The glow of sunrise makes me see. Ooh. Oh, I thank you for the color pink. Thank you for the black of night. A background for the stars, pure light. I rest my head and I can close my eyes. And I thank you for the black of night. Oh, it's so beautiful. What I see. All the colors shining down on you and me. Oh, I thank you for the color blue. I see the sky and I know it's you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unity Temple in the Plaza, a place where diversity is praised and peace and harmony are the rewards. You just listened to Kelley Hunt. For those of you who hadn't been here for a while, she is not only our musical talent today, but also she has a little bit of a preacher in her, so you'll enjoy what she has to say. The flowers on the altar today are in memory of Madeline McDowell, daughter of Mary Ann and Steve McDowell, a beautiful, vibrant young woman who left this world way too early, but who left an impression on this world that will last forever for those people that knew her and loved her. So thank you for those flowers and for being here today. This is the annual business meeting for Unity Temple in the Plaza. It's called for in our bylaws that it should take place in the month of March. And the primary purpose today is to elect new board of directors. If you're a member and you got a ballot and turned in, that's great. If you didn't, the ushers will pick it up if you have it with you. I'd like to introduce the people that are running. We have Meredith Conklin, Rip Fernholz, Brian Johnson, Bruce Maxwell, Janine Majette, Carol Murray, Pat Parton, and Bill Tice. 6 of these people will be elected as members of the board of directors, and 2 will be elected as alternates, and you'll get that information this week through the email or next Sunday at the service. But all dynamite people that are going to represent this congregation going forward. And I'll begin the service with the temple chimes, the opening prayer, Geneva Price, and the call to inspiration. Please say this with me if you choose. On this day, we dedicate ourselves to peace on earth. We accept ourselves without harsh judgment and express appreciation for our individuality. We live without fear to meet the events of this day with confidence. We accept others without prejudice to experience a sense of unity with all people. We honor our earthly environment and recognize the oneness with all creation. In harmony with ourselves, our lives, other people, and all of nature, we live this day the peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. Thank you, God. Amen.
Today I remember I do not have to measure up to anyone else. My commitment lies in remembering my divine identity and the peace I feel when I commune with God. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Now down in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Way down in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Way down in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All over this world, I'm gonna let it shine. All over this world, I'm gonna let it shine. All over this world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, if we ever needed some love before, we sure do need it now. We sure do need it now. That's right. Sure do need it now. If we ever needed some love before, we sure do need it now. Every day, every minute, every hour. I said this little light of mine, you know I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Ooh, let it shine, let it shine. Down in my heart, come on now. Down in my heart,
Good morning, Unity Temple on the Plaza here in beautiful Kansas City, and what a gorgeous day. I'm feeling like we've really sprung forward this morning. Feels pretty good. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's familiar to all of us, but with a little bit of a twist to it. I'm talking about the rainbow and the gold. And sometimes we believe that we have to search and search for some elusive prize at the end of that rainbow, when really the prize itself is the rainbow. And I would say also, the bigger prize is the light that we allow to shine through us in order to see the rainbow itself. So what if I told you there not only isn't a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, there is no rainbow, or at least the rainbow isn't what you think. You're probably looking at me crazy going, well, we've all seen a rainbow, but the rainbow is one of nature's greatest optical illusions. Rainbows are formed when droplets of water in the atmosphere refract or bend the sunlight in just the right circumstances. But we, as the observers, have to catch them from just the right angle and point of view as well in order to even see it. So if we're standing even a few feet in a different position, or we're in another part of the country, or we're across town, there's going to be people that see double rainbows. Have you ever seen a double rainbow? Does it just kind of catch your breath? There it is. When somebody on the next block doesn't see it all, can't see it at all, it takes the right circumstances for us to be able to even observe it. We're seeing a refraction or a bending of the light, but it's how we interpret it that makes it special to us. We equate, and it makes sense because many times and most times we can really only see the light of the rainbow after a storm. When there's water, when there's light. If those things aren't there, we don't see it. We're familiar with the idea of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. When I was a little kid, that was a fun story to say. Oh, at the end of every rainbow, there's a pot of gold. And I thought, all right, so there's my job. I'm going to find that pot of gold. I'm going to search for that thing. And I kept looking and looking and looking. So the reward that is available isn't a pot of gold. As far back as the 17th century, the Irish were fond of saying, and being a Kelley, I'm a big chunk o' Irish. All of my siblings have Irish names. My mother's maiden name was Timmins. And in Ireland, it used to be O. Timmins. But the Irish were fond of saying, it was as likely to find a pot of gold as to find the end of the rainbow. The expression somehow changed and became part of the fairy mythology. It was fun to think about. And you know what's coming up this week? St. Patrick's Day, for heaven's sake. And it's celebrated differently here, much differently here than it is in Ireland. Science tells us that rainbows do not have an end. Get that. Rainbows do not have an end. What? Since their arch shape is an illusion. It's an illusion. My friend Karen Goldberg, who was the former poet laureate of the state of Kansas and one of my co-writers, she got a message from her husband. He had been in an airplane and he was flying, I believe, to a work trip. And he looked out of the window, and he saw something he had never, ever seen before. And something many of us haven't seen or didn't even know existed. He saw, as he looked down on the clouds, a completely round rainbow. It was in a circle. And it was so incredible, he took a photo of it and sent it to Karen. And they eventually looked up the term for, what is the term for a round rainbow? What is that? What do we call that thing? Get this. It's called a glory. It's called a glory. I mean, that's how he kind of felt when he saw it. He was like, oh, something we've seen all our lives we thought looked like one thing, but from a different perspective and a different angle and the right conditions, he saw the whole thing. He saw the whole picture. We, I believe, are all reflections of the divine light that is within us, as us, through us. And it may sound like a silly metaphor, but we make our own glories. We make our own rainbow. What seems to be real can sometimes be an illusion, but it can also be very inspiring to us. I remember, I guess it was 4 years ago now, my husband and I live just south of Lawrence, Kansas, in what we like to call the House of Love, the little box on the prairie. And we had an incredible tornado out there. Many of you knew of this. It was coming down diagonally coming down the road that we live on. Our neighbor next door works for the electric company for Evergy. And he had already gotten, the news, you need to get ready to get in your truck and go help because there are going to be power lines down. There's going to be all kinds of stuff that's going to happen. We'd had some advance notice. We all know the drill in the heartland. A tornado watch is different from a tornado warning. What you do, you get ready. We went to the basement. We thought, okay, well, it's coming down our road, but it's more than likely not going to hit us. What we didn't expect was it was wrapped in rain. You couldn't really see it. There were a couple of them in the clouds. And it was torrential rain, crazy rain. More rain in, 30 minutes than I believe we'd ever gotten out there. So we were in our basement. The sirens were going off. We felt safe and secure, which we were. And here comes the rain-wrapped tornado coming down our road. And we were watching it in real time online. And then our electricity went out. And then we watched it on our phones. And then we watched as this tornado lifted up before it hit our wee little property and stayed up in the clouds and then went back down towards the highway. We felt lucky, and we felt worried for our neighbors. And the rain was torrential, and it kept coming down and down and down, and things were blowing around, and it was loud. You know what that sounds like. And then when it was over, we ran up out of the basement, and other than a few limbs blown around, there was no big deal. No electricity, and we could see that the clouds had moved, and unfortunately it was going towards, I believe, Eudora and DeSoto, and eventually Overland Park and Olathe. But what we saw in our yard on our one little acre is a rainbow. On one side, the light was shining through it. This was in the evening, so we had sunrise going through it and water, and here came a rainbow. And on the other side of it, we could see the dark clouds still churning and heading away from us. And then we saw another rainbow. And then we saw another. And we were stunned. We saw a triple rainbow after this big storm had happened. And we were just so awestruck and so thankful that we were okay. It looked like a sign. Everything's gonna be all right. Glory. And then we drew our attention down to the yard and the road, and it was covered with water, and it was coming towards the house. And then we realized, our little basement sump pump can't run because we don't have any electricity. And in our basement, half of it's finished where my husband has his office. And by the time we just went from our yard to the basement, the water was filling up. And we were unplugging things and carrying things up the stairs, and we thought, pretty soon this electricity is going to come on, and it didn't. It didn't come on for 18 hours. We had friends who drove out to our place to help us haul things up and try to save the office equipment, computers, unplug things, make it safe for us. And then once we realized, hey, we're done, there's nothing we can do. Not a doggone thing. But the conditions were just right for a triple rainbow. So we could walk out into the yard and say, boy, that's an amazing sight. We've never seen anything like it. There's nothing we can do about what's happening in our little home. But we can say, thank you for Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Because there was nothing we could do. And we thought, well, hey, where's that pot of gold at the end of those 1, 2, 3 rainbows? Where is that? Well, it doesn't feel like it's in our basement office. Woo, it's filling up water. Oh. But it's all about perception. The third unity principle says, thoughts create experience. Human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. We are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Our thinking at that moment was both, oh no, and oh wow. You know, I'm a human being. I'm fully divine and fully human, 100% both. My human part was shaking the bell saying, your basement, your office, your home. And the divine part of me somehow, and I don't even understand it most times, said, look up, look up, look what's there. Appreciate that your home is still here. Be grateful that you are alive. Be grateful that your husband is alive. Be grateful that tornado lifted up and stayed away from you. Look up. Be grateful. Where's the gold? Where is it? Where's that gold? It's right here. Where does it come from? It comes from God. It comes from the divine. There's our gold. We are reflections and can refract that light out into our physical, mental, spiritual world. We were so fortunate to see what we saw up there during a really, really scary night. So it was hot outside and the sun was going down, and we were getting kind of hot in our little house. So we opened up the doors and windows. Something interesting happened. We kept saying to each other, gosh, we're so lucky. We would go online and see what had happened around us. We're so fortunate. Look, we're still here, as we could hear water rising on the floor below us. But we stayed in the house, kept windows open. We really didn't have anywhere to go. And everything around us was dark. There was no electricity. And we kept saying, we're so fortunate. A little worried over here, kind of scared about what's going to happen. But here we are. We made it. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Look up. Look up. So in the morning, I had a whole bunch of texts from friends saying, are you okay? We had 2 friends drive out and say, we saw that this went right down your road. You guys are still here. And every time we heard that, we said, we're so lucky. We're so fortunate. Guess what we saw? And so a friend of ours who lives an hour and a half away had a friend live in Topeka, which is 30 minutes from our house, who didn't know us and who volunteered to come over to our home and help us get the water out of our office and our basement. And we didn't know him. We just got a little text that said, hey, my friend Steve is coming over from Topeka. You don't know him. He's on his way, and help is coming to you guys. We said, okay. By now it's 11 o'clock in the morning. Water is coming up a little bit more. We had put on rubber boots and gone down the night before, and it covered just our feet. Now when we went down, it covered clear up to our top of our boots. We're like sloshing through, seeing if there's anything else we can take out that isn't ruined and gone and done, saying we are so lucky. And here down our driveway comes a guy named Steve. We don't know Steve. And he has a little car, and he's got all this stuff in the back. He's got like a pump and these special tools and a big hose, and he has a shirt on that says something like love in action. Well, hey, Steve, come on down the driveway. And we had the windows open. He'd put the rope down there, and he turned on this machine to start pumping the water out. And you know what happened? Oh, and he also brought a little generator to run the pump. And as soon as he started, the electricity came on. And we said, oh, Steve, well, hey, thank you. You don't need to stay. The sump pump's going to kick in. He said, oh, no. I'm here for the duration. He said, I've done this many times. This is actually part of a job I used to have. I'm retired. He didn't look like he was old enough to be retired. He said, I brought all the tools to help clean all the sludge and all the stuff out of your basement. I'm here for the day. And it's a darn good thing he was, because there was sludge and mud and water, and we began to realize, okay, everything down there is gone now. But Steve's here, and we're getting the water out, and we're, calling the insurance company. And we started to kind of look at Steve a little differently. We said, hey, now, who are you? He said, well, I'm a friend of your friend Luann. We said, oh, how'd you know how to get to us? Oh, well, she told me where you were. And we said, well, didn't the tornado hit where you guys were too? And he goes, nah, we're okay. He said, this is, and you're going to love this is mine to do today. I said, all right. Well, we will happily accept. In our opinion, Steve was not only the rainbow that day, he was the doggone pot of gold. And his light was shining so brightly that it was amazing to see. So when the day was done, he packed up his stuff, and he and my husband, put away the tool. He cleaned our tools. He hosed things down. We had stuff spread out all over the drive. And then he said, and we kept saying, well, can we pay you? Can we take you and your wife out for dinner? He goes, no. He goes, I'm good. And he was gone. And we said, we are so lucky. Steve was here. I still don't know his last name. He would not give us his phone number. If we really wanted it, we could get it from Luann. He said, no, I'm good. And he was gone. Ooh, man. And we started to see a round rainbow in our minds. We thought, well, we've seen 3 arches. But really, there's more to it than that. There's more light. There's more reflection. You got to allow it. We're so lucky. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. We started to see in our minds the round rainbow that our friend Ken had talked about. We started to see the glory. Sometimes people think, I got to search for this. I'm looking for this ultimate thing, this ultimate purpose in my life, this ultimate goal. I'm searching for the pot of gold. Man, I'm wearing myself out searching for that doggone thing. But I know it's there. I'm going to keep striving. Well, if we replace the search with allowing, boy, that's easier said than done. You know what I mean? If we replace the search with allowing, then we can see the real gift that's right in front of us. When we're busy searching and believing in fairy tales, the real gift is sitting right there. In our case, it was coming down the driveway. Its name was Steve. The search keeps us in motion. And sometimes when we're in motion, searching and worrying, we're missing what's happening right in front of us. We're missing it, and we're replacing the stillness of heart with motion and tension and fear. Have you ever been in a position when there was something you knew you couldn't do a doggone thing about? You couldn't change it. You couldn't fix it. What'd you do? Speaking for myself. Sometimes I kept searching for, what can I do? How can I help? What's happening here? Oh no. And I was denying what was really going on around me instead of becoming still. And that is almost impossible sometimes. Kind of hard to be still when you hear water rising in your lower part of your house. And you're visualizing and worrying, what's next? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Instead of saying, okay, this is what's happening. We're allowing this. It's not helping us to go crazy, which we were kind of going crazy there for a while. What is helping us is to get quiet, allow, ask for help, be grateful. That's a big one. And know that even though we may or may not be able to see the rainbow in the situation, or in this case, sometimes we can see the literal rainbow, we're not seeing the whole picture. We don't know yet what good is on its way. We don't know yet that the hard reality of what's happening to us, or what we believe is reality, is not the whole story. Now, compared to what's happening in our world right now, this was an easy first world problem to have. And I know that. But I think to myself, and I was just saying this morning, you can't serve yourself or serve anybody if you don't allow the light and the divinity that is within you, if you don't let it in and work through you. Who can we serve if we're worried and we're focused and we're searching for that pot of gold? Where is it? Where is it? We're missing the rainbow. We can't reflect the light when we're closed in and we have all that dark energy there. How can we serve? Well, I saw a beautiful example of that online last Sunday right here. If you were in the congregation here in person or online, you saw the service that focused on Ukraine. You heard that music. The violin sounded like a voice. You heard all the images and colors of what it felt like for folks to go through that. What can we do? What can we do? How can we be the light? Replace the search with allowing, and then the inner voice becomes clear. What's mine to do? It may be focused meditation and prayer. It may be having a service or attending a service here. It may be donating your time, and as they say, your treasure, to a specific cause. To imagine yourself with empathy what somebody else might be going through in another part of the world, or, by the way, right next door, or right here in Kansas City. Empathizing with that. Okay, you may not be able to change everything, but you can become a reflection and allow that light to come through you, and know that at some point we may not see the whole picture. We may not see the glory. We may not see the rainbow at all, but it's there. It's there. Sometimes when we long for something somebody else has, or we get a little twinge when somebody gets something that we wanted, or we see them experience something in life that we've been wanting and working for and searching for a long, long time, we think, man, that grass is always greener. But when we stop that search and allow, we realize if we water the grass right where we are, and we allow our lives to unfold, maybe not in the way we expected, but in the way it is happening, we don't always see the whole picture. Things are not always what they seem to be. The importance of gratitude and appreciation is a real, powerful thing. The gold at the end of the rainbow is a myth. It can take our eyes off the prize of the rainbow itself. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore believed this time of Lent marked a time of personal transformation, a season of spiritual growth, a time for progressive unfoldment. I think in our world right now, many of us are beginning to see in a different way what is happening around us, what is happening in our world. Have you felt any differently in the last 2 years when you began to realize we're all connected? We are all connected, my friends. I feel it in my bones. And what is happening in another part of the world happens to us. And I've said it here before, but what my grandmother used to say is, what blesses one blesses all. That energy of love, the energy of allowing ourselves to be the light. Remember, you are the light. If not us, who? If not now, when? Being the good partially Irish woman that I am, I love reading John O'Donoghue's books and poetry and what he has to say. He says, may you recognize in your life the presence, power, and light of your soul. May you realize you are never alone, that your soul in its brightness and belonging connects you intimately with the rhythm of the universe. May you have respect for your individuality and difference. May you realize that the shape of your soul is unique, that you have a special destiny here, that behind the facade of your life, there is something beautiful and eternal happening. beautiful and eternal. Look up. Look up. So here are some things to try this week. Just become conscious and aware of what you're searching for. What you're searching for. And take a moment to simply be still. Take a walk, literally walk away from it for a while. If you've been focused on the news, or you've been focused on income, or you've been focused on somebody that's suffering. I have a friend right now who is just about to make his transition. Just about. And I went to sing to him last week, sat at the end of his bed. And you know what he wanted to hear? Somewhere over the rainbow. And I thought to myself, pretty soon, his vision of what that is will be a more complete picture than mine. Next time you see a rainbow, and you might see one today, you might see a little prism rainbow in your house, reflecting through the glass, reflecting through a little crystal that you have hanging in your window. Next time you see one, and don't miss them, because they're all around us. I mean, look at this room. Look at these beautiful windows. Look at all the color. Look up at what's surrounding us. It's beautiful. Simply stop and take it in and appreciate the gift. There it is. It's all around us. When we see the actual end of a rainbow, really what it is, it's what is right before us. The ground it lands on, it can land, guess what? It can land on us. We've seen a rainbow in a parking lot when we were out on tour one time, and we could actually see, oh, there's the arch. Oh, looks like it ends right there. And it felt kind of silly, but I jumped out of the van and I ran over to where I thought it ended, and the closer I got, the more I couldn't see it. And I was standing in the place that it appeared back here that it ended, and it was this beautiful illusion of, here I am, I'm still here, I'm over here. And I was running around that parking lot trying to find it. And then I had to laugh, and I thought, maybe I'm standing in it right now. Maybe those colors are washing over me. Maybe I am the light. And I felt the joy of that and the appreciation of that. And joy, here's a wonderful quote I came across, and I don't even know who said this, but I just love it. Joy is an overflowing expression of appreciation, wonder, and delight. A round rainbow, y'all, is called a glory. And it's all around us, and we are it. Thank you. You've been standing in the rain for such a long time, walking the lonesome road, wondering if you can ever mend. Carrying such an unbearable load. When the dark clouds
could you know that the skies would clear and love would find a way? A round rainbow is called a glory. What you survive in life is called a story. You only see the arc of it after the storm. To see the whole miracle, you've got to hold on. Workaday miracle is where you belong. Where you belong. Hold on. The workaday miracle is where you belong. Where you belong. Hold on. Hold on.
As we move into meditation, I invite you to spend a few moments for me in the silence, the precious silence, where our thoughts and prayers can go out to people in this world that are experiencing incredible hardships at this point, the people in Ukraine, even those people in Russia who are being persecuted against because they do not stand for their country's position. To all beings everywhere that feel a sense of hardship, a sense of sadness, a sense of loss, a sense of defeat. We send them our prayers of hope and faith and know that after this storm, a rainbow will appear in the air and their rewards will be just. They will survive. In the silence, We now bring ourselves back for meditation. And we realize that the greatest thing we desire, each and every one of us, is peace of mind. Our most natural state is that of harmony. And the greatest experience we can have on this earth, of living the life that we are living, is love. Peace, harmony, and love. We go forth this day with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. And so it is.
I am healed. I am healed. Light dissolved darkness in my consciousness. Hope grows into faith as my mind opens to divine wisdom. Wisdom that is always I claim. Guided by the light of truth, I see the way, and I follow it. I follow it.
Praise the bridge that brought you over. Praise the ones that took your hand. Praise the heart that kept on beating with the love to help you stand. Praise the tears and the laughter. And praise the shadow and the light. Praise the answer and the question. And the mind to set things right. And if the only prayer you ever said was thank you, that would be enough. Oh, thank you is enough. Praise the sky that's above you. Praise the ground beneath your feet. Praise the air that you are breathing, and the food you have to eat. Then praise this life that you have been given.
Thank you, Kelley Hunt. Geneva Price, it's always good to have you here. And Jim Mayer, thank you for your performance. Also, I would like, if you enjoy the grounds of Unity Temple and the landscaping, that's because the garden fairies work them relentlessly in nice weather and not nice weather. And I'd like to call the leader of the garden fairies forward, Nancy Addy. Here, hold it. You can speak into here. Speak into here.
Can you all hear me?
There you go.
Thank you.
Should be on testing, testing.
Testing, testing. Now is it on? Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you to this lady right here. I don't know you, but I sat here and heard you. And I feel, thank you so much. I've been on a sabbatical for the last 2 years during COVID. The garden fairies, we've come and worked, but I haven't been to church except for the one time that Duke asked me to come and lead the announcement part, and there wasn't a soul in the church. And let me tell you, that is not a fun feeling. And so today was really my first day back, and I have to tell you, I feel right now I'm sitting in a rainbow puddle. And that I just feel like all these colors and sunshine, and it just really makes me cry. Thank you. It was a wonderful service. Thank you. So back to the garden fairies. For those of you who know us, you may not know that we've been coming here, taking care of the garden for over 30 years now, which is a long time. For any of you who walk by here, you can see how beautiful it is. And every year at the time change, we give out these little boxes. And then y'all take it home, you put your change in there, and then at the next time change, you bring it back. The garden fairies, 100% of what we do is done strictly on donations from you and the Buddhist temple. So any of you who would like to take one of these home, we would appreciate it. And one of the things, even before COVID, we noticed that people aren't paying for things as much with change anymore or with cash. They're paying with a credit card. So we don't get as much change. So feel free to put checks, bills, not your credit card or not your electricity or your gas bills, but any other kind of bills in here, we'll take those too. And for any of you who are interested in joining the garden fairies, we meet once a Saturday, or not one Saturday, a month is what it is, one Saturday a month, from about April through October. And we're here for about 2 hours. And you don't need any experience. We show you what end goes down. That's the roots. And that's about all you need to know. We provide all of the equipment, all of the tools, and we would love to have you join us. If you're interested, we have little pieces of paper out there, how you can contact me, and I'll put you on our garden fairy list. So I wish you all a rainbow puddle kind of day, because it really feels good. Thank you.
Thank you. This concludes our service. I invite you to say the prayer of protection with me, and then we'll sing the peace song together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well.